What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure you share the video, and don't forget, leave a comment. Again, if you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit it again. So today I'm bringing on a brother that was friends with a dude I brought on a few days ago. I brought on an old timer. Sometimes I like to bring on the old timers. When I was in prison, the old timers always had good stories, man. They were always, most of them, good dudes. So, you know, people comment, hey, bring on some more old timers. So once again, I'm bringing a guy on that was part of the Gaylord gang. I know some people comment and say, man, I would never be involved in a gang like that. What the hell kind of gang is that? You know, some other dudes comment, them dudes ain't here in Chicago. So I'm bringing on Evil Bill or Haywire Nelson, whatever you want to call this guy. But I'm going to let him tell you who he is and where he's from, and we're going to get into his story. The mic's all yours, Bill.
Howdy, everybody. My name's Bill Nelson. I was born in Chicago. I was not raised there. I didn't move to Chicago until I was like 19 years old. Prior to that, I spent my entire life traveling around the United States in a traveling gypsy family, building powerhouse after powerhouse. I come from a big family, 4 boys, 3 uncles, 3 aunties, a whole lot of cousins. We're all within 5 years of each other. You know, we're a gang unto our own right. And because of that, I've never had single friends. You got to have a bunch of brothers. You come from a big family. That way, if one of us fucks up, somebody's getting taken hostage. We're going to work this out. I like Chad's program out of all the prison programs that I've seen. The best. Chad's the guy I want to aspire to be. He wants me to talk about myself. I don't like talking about myself. My PSI is out there for anybody to Google or read. As far as the Gaylords go, that's not a homosexual gang. That's your mentality. If that's the way you think, that tells me a whole lot about you, because you ain't from Chicago. The Gaylords helped found the Northsiders prison gang. So did some Aryans out of California. I'm an Aryan. All white people are Aryans, whether they got hair or not. You know, that's just to me, that's an offensive way of saying that you're white. Me, I'm white. And I grew up behind bars, like you called it, life on the installment plan. And I know, Chad, you wanted to talk about the New Mexico Boys School, and it was good training for the life that I've led. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Everybody that I was locked up with there damn near is dead. Can't find them. So they're either buried under calendars. And the one dude that I could find that I thought I was cool with this guy and that we could just, like in prison, I run into you 20 years later, we just pick up where we left off. We ain't joined at the hip honky. This dude told me, but I didn't like you when we were kids and I don't like you as an adult. There's a reason I don't fuck with you. Don't contact me again. Thanks.
Let me ask you a little more in-depth questions, right? And let's not talk over each other either. So you go to New Mexico. You're in a boys' reformatory. Was it rough over there? What was it like?
Man, it was like turning 90 days into a year into 2 years, and 2 into 5, and get ready for prison hockey, because we got a place for assholes like you. Like me, not you.
I thought you were talking to me, man. I thought I was going to have to drive out there to Chicago, man.
I'm talking about myself in a third person perspective. I'm not nuts. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm joking with you, man. Don't make me drive out there, though. I'm just joking, man. So
you're too big for me to fuck with, man. I'm fucked up. I got one hand, god damn it. I don't want no beef, honky.
I'm joking with you. So you said it was like you caught another year there. What happened? Did you stab someone in there as a kid? You beat someone up? What happened?
I stabbed a dude. I seen a lot of guys get beat down there. I seen a couple guys get raped. You know, you got to remember, you're dealing with young guys that, you know, they're in their sexual primacy. There ain't no pussy there. And if they see a dude acting like a bitch, you're gonna become a bitch. That's where the term punk comes from, which I don't understand. It's just as an interesting aside. You know, I grew up in the Southwest, and everybody in the 70s and the 80s knew, God damn it, that if you had your pants hanging off your ass with your cupcakes on display, that was for rent, sale, or trade. I don't understand how that turned into being a gangster. Just saying.
Well, hey, that's why I like bringing old school guys on sometimes. You say all kinds of stuff where I'm like, doop, 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 hey, your cupcakes are for sale. And I'm just like, okay.
Rent, sale, or trade.
Actually, you make it to you end up getting out of the reformatory. We didn't talk too much in depth. I mean, but you end up going.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I went to Chicago.
Okay, so you leave New Mexico and you go where, to Chicago?
Yes.
This when you joined the Gaylords or whatever?
Yes. I immediately hooked up with Livewire. I don't want to say his real name. Here's another living success story. All the Gaylords that I personally know, I know from prison. The ones that I know from the street, they're all successful businessmen. I mean, in every discipline you can imagine, as far as construction, there's a couple that are real estate agencies. One's a very successful used car dealership owner. You know,
I want to ask you about the jacket you got on, man. I see the cross on there, and is that one of the Gaylord jackets or what? What is that jacket?
No, no, it's just I had all these patches, and a girlfriend sewed them on for me. You know, they're all like 50 years old. I'm 55, and I had them since I was a kid. And then I gave, you know, I had two daughters. One got killed in a car wreck over that driver's license scandal in Illinois where they were selling CDLs. Now they just give them away. And then I got a 9-year-old daughter that I don't know, you know, and I was just like everybody else, man. Everything I did was in the pursuit of money, pussy, and power. And
hey, we're going to listen, man, because there are kids that watch this, bro. So we're going to stay away from the P word, man. You said it like two or three times.
Sorry, this is just the way I talk, bro. I don't.
It's all right. We're just going to make sure that, you know, we're going to stay away from it, man. There's women that watch this show, too.
Yeah, I'll guard my tongue.
So I want to talk a little bit more now about, like, let's get into your prison experience. I'm going to be honest with you, man. You seem like an angry dude, but it's all right. We're going to talk about that, too. We're going to get there, Bill. We're going to get there. So you go to prison, right? Do you go to prison in Illinois? Is this your first place that you go to prison?
Yeah, that's the first time I was ever, well, other than county jail, that's the first time that I ever done time as an adult. I was like 22 years old.
And in Illinois, I mean, you know, people hear gangbanging, they think California, but my second thought after hearing about gangbanging is always Chicago. I mean, there was a lot of gangs there. They're like the home of the gangs. So when you get to prison there, is there a big gang presence from, you know, GDs or whatever they had back then?
Yes, absolutely. You know, for example, the Latin Kings, and they got black Latin Kings, they got white Latin Kings. It started out as a Latino organization to protect themselves from white racists and the Gaylords.
They were protecting themselves from the Gaylords, you said?
Yes.
In what sense?
Because Chicago has always, and it still is to a large degree, the most racially segregated. And trust me, bro, I've been everywhere. IBEW, I've been everywhere. Chicago is the most racially segregated city you're ever going to see. You know, there's clear dividing lines. Now they're kind of morphing into each other because there are no white gangs in Chicago anymore. That's over with. It's been over with since the 90s. All the hefes from all the white street cliques, and I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't give a rip what section you were at Casino, Gaylord, at Jouster. I got locked up, and they all became North Siders except for the Royals, the Simon City Royals. And you know, I got Gaylord Street Brothers and Joint Brothers. They hate Royals. I've never had a problem with them. All the Royals I know, I actually like. I just explained this to somebody because I'm cool with Spanish Cobras. They pushed in our neighborhood, killed a couple of my guys. But I got nothing to do with that. Look, you've been in prison. It don't take you too long to get to know anybody. Before you even talk to them, you've smoked them over. You hear things. If you're in tune with your inner, you know, observant powers. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, listen, the question.
But you get to know. What I'm trying to say is, you get to know people real quick. I know. I watch you intently, bro. That you've seen guys that the minute you saw them, you couldn't stand them and didn't want them around you because you knew it was going to be a problem.
There's been incidents like that, but I want to take you back to where we were at. I want to go back to the prison system, right? I had asked, you know, there's a big gang presence. When you walk into that prison system, man, are you nervous? You're a young man. I mean, do the Gaylords come up to you right away like, hey, man, you're with us? Do you know people? Is there racial tension? What's going on in the Chicago prison system at that time? The Illinois prison system.
When I went into prison in '91, I was fighting with a dude named Gert. I believe it was a BD, and I didn't know the dude was a wrestler. Man, he picked me up and put me in a flying mirror and blew my fucking knee out. And the next day, my knees all swelled up. We get to Joliet. I'm sitting there, and some Latin Kings. And what surprised me wasn't just the Kings. I believe there was a couple Cobras involved in that. There's another dude that had, and he was a black guy, and they grabbed my crutch and they picked it up and they beat the dude with it, and they're picking up the broken pieces and stabbing him with them. And we're in the reception center.
You shocked when that happened?
No, I just come out of Cook County Jail after 18 months, and it was like, and I'm running into older dudes, like Bob Cloutier, triple murder, and I already knew what to expect because I knew a lot of the dudes there. I didn't come to prison to join a gang. I already run with a swinging white mob on the street, and we all know each other.
So was there respect for the Gaylords in the prison system when you walked in there?
Yeah.
You didn't say that confidently. Why not?
It depended on who you were. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Gaylords that aren't well liked, that have ripped people off, even their own guys, done monkey business and shit like that, and it's they get a no good label, and then people want to know because how it is. If you're cool with somebody that is not well liked, whatever drama he's got, you got too, because you're cool with him.
I mean, I've seen plenty. Listen to me. I've seen plenty of guys, white gangs, black gangs, Spanish gangs, where they do bullshit to people. But my question was, were they respected though? Were they like, hey, I mean, were they just like, dudes are nobodies, or were they like, hey, them dudes get busy, man? They they'll stab you, they'll fight you, they'll kill you. I mean, did they have that type of reputation where they were violent?
Yes, absolutely. But you got to understand, all these dudes are Buck's age. I'm 22 years old. These guys are in their late 30s, early 40s, and have been there 10, 15 years before I ever, even arrived on location. And and they're like, Bill, fuck these dudes, fuck that 5-point star shit. I could have turned Latin King and been accepted with open arms. I'm cool with a bunch of Latin Kings, but as an organization, I had to say no because they killed a couple of my guys. And it's like, man, I am not a defeatist. So I don't understand why a white dude would want to be in a gang that's a Latin gang or a Spanish gang. And that's in their title, because when these gangs were formulated in Chicago, everything is based on race. Okay. So that's why you got black P Stones, black gangsters, black disciples, black gangster disciples, Spanish Cobras, Latin lovers, Latin Eagles, Latin Panthers. You follow me?
With you, man.
It's everything is racial, and then it gets subdivided from race into religion. You're under the 6-point or under the 5-point, and we were given the option by Gino Colom, Hercules, all these Northsiders that are Gaylords or were Gaylords. Come on and you ride underneath us because these guys were getting smashed, and the Illinois Department of Corrections played a big hand in that. They put people in positions of power that had no business being there, locked up dudes, let guys die intentionally of medical neglect, and anybody that knows anything about prison knows get your teeth shattered in a fight. They ain't fixing your teeth, they're pulling them. That's it. That's your choice.
Let me ask you about this because you're in that system, and I think in my mind, my perception is that it was dangerous, that it was violent. That
absolutely.
Did you see people? Hold on now. You gotta let me. You gotta let me stop. You gotta stop now.
Sorry.
Let me talk. Were there guys in there getting stabbed and killed or no?
Yeah, I was one of them. I'm trying to tell you. Look, I was they used to call me Babyface Nelson. Now I'm Chicago's new Scarface. And 27.5 doing time, and me and two motherfuckers and my mama sat down and calculated date by date. And I got told I got a phenomenal memory. I can't remember shit some days. I just last October I got chopped in the head with a machete. I just recently, am still recuperating from getting my throat cut and stabbed up. But prior to that happening, the one incident I got stabbed 13 times in the back, 4 times in the head, 3 times in the face. once in the arm. I've been stabbed in the legs, stabbed in the goddamn hip. That hurt. Stabbed in the kneecap. That really hurt.
Let me ask you this. So you got stabbed 13 times in the back. Was that in prison?
Yes, in Stateville.
What was that for?
Well, drugs.
For,
Honestly,
all
I
right.
like
So
to lie and say it was fighting over cells. It was over a heroin needle that one of the Aryan brothers had, and he wasn't giving it up. And there's a problem over that.
who stabbed you? Was it the Aryan Brotherhood dude stabbed you, or someone else, or
No, no, that was GDs.
the GDs wanted the needle and they stabbed you for it?
Well, because these are my guys, man. I came off another wing and again, I don't want to name names or get nailed down the specific dates, but it was in '91. Can't forget this. It was Crystal Knock night, as a matter of fact, the great day of the rope, November 9th. And it's like, man, be up, be up. Chico's going to bring you this. We need them things. And, everything's in a rotation and shit's stashed. They're just being held down. And I step out of the cell, boom, hand me the shit. And the dude pulled the door shut and locked himself in. I'm like, motherfucker, you better hope we all get killed. And I went over there and the two brothers were handling their business, and they were getting wolf pack, like 5 motherfuckers moving on 2 honkies. And I wait, and then a white dude from Indiana jumped in and tried to help him. And that's when I got involved. And we all went to the hospital and we all went to SAG. And it wasn't over them trying to force them out of the cell because they wanted to keep it split up. They didn't want too many of us on one deck, or gallery rather. And so we're split up to begin with. And these are all control unit prisons with the cop station, cop central in the center, and then wings off of each one. And then there's dividing doors, and there's a dead man's gate. Some guys call it a wicket, I guess. Where the one gate has to be shut in order for the other one to open. And you get caught in them fucking, that's what they call dead man's gates. You get caught in one of them, you can die.
I've seen it, man. They hit my celly
Yeah,
like
prison was
that in Big
violent.
Sandy, man, where he was blocked into these gates and there was nowhere to go. All he could do was, try to fight for his life.
Right.
But now listen, stabbed 13 times over some stuff that involved heroin, right? And this is the point. I'm glad you mentioned
Right.
that because there are some things that I want to ask you. So you're part of the Gaylords, and this is kind of like a white separatist kind of group where, they stand up for themselves, stand up for their race. I mean, I'm gathering that from Buck and the little bit that you've told me and a little bit of research that I've done. So that's what you guys are, right? Standing up for yourself, for your neighborhood kind of thing?
Yeah, but at that point, I had left the Gaylords and I was just with the hardcore Aryan dudes at this point. And a couple of them were Royals. One was an SD that came back home, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm going somewhere with this, Bill. So do you believe
Sure.
in uplifting your race and I think you're a separatist, right?
I mean, personally, yes, I am. My family, no. Do I represent the majority of white people in my thinking and behavior and all that shit? No. These are just things that were drilled into my head as a kid, and you know,
I'm going to ask you a question
it's the way
because this is something that always bothered me in prison. You would see these dudes that talk about this white uplifting the white people, and I'm part of the Aryan Brotherhood, or I'm part of this white gang. And a lot of times I would see these dudes going to get high. So when you see these dudes talking about up in the 14 words, we must secure the existence of our race and the future for white children.
How do I feel?
No, that's where I'm going. I want to know, how
It
do you
makes me
feel when?
sick.
Hold on, man.
It made me sick because I don't do that shit. This is one of the reasons that why my father, because all my uncles and my aunties were involved in that shit, you know. Uh, and I was always taught that this is what they do. We don't stoop to their level. This is what scumbags do, you know. And and then I saw how their behavior was, and I told myself as a kid, I'm never going to be like these fucking guys. And then I'm in prison, and all my aunties and uncles and the people that they fuck with, they're so much older than me, and of course I looked up to them. I'm a kid, you know what I mean? And I'm in prison with their high school friends, and then hearing the dirty about how they really are, and I'm watching it unfold right between my eyes. You know, he was a Chicago outlaw. Well, I shouldn't say that. I had this biker dude, right, and he's like, "Bill, grab my arms," just start squeezing, and that needle we were just talking, and I got pissed off. I got poked with that fucking needle, and I wanted, you know, I was, I went haywire.
Point is
One of the
this,
brothers stabbed me in the ass.
Bill. This is my point. My point is, you're preaching one thing, but yet
Living a
not
lie.
you.
They're
Hold
living a
on.
lie.
You got to let me talk, man.
Sorry, bro. They're living
Not.
a lie.
I'm not saying you directly, but what I'm saying is when you're involved in this and you're preaching these words and the 14 words and the 88 precepts and things like that, but yet these guys are saying this, but they're going around and they're buying drugs from other people, from black dudes. Yet they say they hate these people, but yet you're buying drugs from them. You're saying you're about uplifting your race. How can you uplift anybody when you can't even uplift yourself? That was my point. That's not for every white person. That's not for every white gang member. But what I was saying from personal experiences, when I seen these white dudes doing that in prison, it used to bother me and say, how could you say one thing, yet you're doing another? So I wanted your perspective on it as an old school, as an older gentleman.
I didn't like it, you know, and you could say the same thing about the homosexuality that goes on there. You know, and you know, I seen it all, bro. I had a dude that I had the ultimate respect for, and I told him, "Don't ever fucking talk to me again." I mean that. I'll hurt you. That was the fucking weirdest shit that he looked at this young dude who was a Latin king. And he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna fuck him." I said, what did you just say? I flipped out. Is it and the same thing as and then you know like when I got my throat cut, it was over the same shit that I don't even fuck with. Why am I involved in this? This has nothing to do with me. I didn't sign up for this. And then you know and this is how I got hurt out here in the world. I'm messing with shit that I have no business messing with, or them that do, out of some misguided fucked up thing that I think these people are my brothers. Well, my brothers will have me done in. I mean, look at me. Can't make this up. And, you know,
So
and guys think, well, oh, he'll kill him. He'll kill him. Uh, that's a misused word.
let me
I,
ask you
I,
this, because you sent me some pictures, man, where people watching the show right now, they're not going to know, but maybe I can put the pictures up in the video. I'm not sure yet if YouTube would allow it, but if you want me to, but you end up getting your throat cut. You also get
yeah,
hit in the head with a machete. Let's talk about you getting your throat cut first. Why'd you get your throat cut?
because I put my foot down. I said no, and guys don't like being told no, especially when you're equals.
People watching the show, they're not going to know what you mean. You put your foot down and said no. No to what? No, that people
No, no,
couldn't come to your
no.
house.
I don't want that. You know, it started out as a pot buy and dealing with these, you know, like cartel type Mexicanos, and then it morphed into a fucking, you know, heroin, crystal meth, fentanyl type chingaretti. And I said, no. First of all, I live here. This ain't my house. Let's be clear. This house belongs to my brother, or excuse me, my mother. And my brothers have more of a claim on this house than I do. No matter how much work or energy I put into it, trying to keep it afloat, because out of all of us, I'm the one that's been away from home the longest. You know, there's four boys in my family, and three of us have spent the majority of our lives in prison over the pursuit of women, power, and money. Because you can't have one without the other.
So all your life, you kind of did life on the installment plan too, right? Chicago prison, Michigan prison, New Mexico Youth Authority, right?
Yes,
Go to prison
and
what?
maxed out, plus caught cases on every goddamn bit. So that's why I say it was probably a good thing I went to the reformatory, because it taught me how to survive attacks, to endure pain, hunger, suffering, uh, to the ability to think on my feet, to open my eyes. And it took me a long time, you know. Like my daddy used to tell me, look in the mirror, son, and you'll see who the asshole in your life really is. And there was a point in my life up until recently where I couldn't look in the mirror. I was like a vampire, sitting in the dark, uh, thinking dark, evil thoughts about what I'm going to do, soon as I heal up, I'm going to get these guys.
So that happened. Does that happen before they hit you in the head with the machete? Your throat's cut first, and then
I got hit in the head with the machete October 15th, 2020, right here in my driveway. I got out of prison and I put this address on blast because I ain't ducking and dodging anybody. And as far as I'm concerned, I damn sure don't owe you any fucking money. My name's Bill Nelson, not Nelson Rockefeller. If I owe you money, get in line. There's no line here. Come see me. Here's my phone number. And there's been shots fired in front of the house. There's a county jail a half mile down the street. That's called an anomaly. And they come at 7:12. It's GL time to let me know because guys thought when I came here, there's a big Latin King presence, there's a big Chicago street gang presence, and these guys have been here now for 25, 30 years. I'm the outsider. You understand?
I understand. So you get your throat cut. Well, that was over some drug stuff. You end up getting hit with a machete later on. That was over some
Yep.
drug stuff, right?
Well, that was over some. Look, is another get rich quick hustle. I got something. You said you wanted it. You agreed on a price. It was $2,000. I get the shit. I jeopardized two people's safety and my own. And then you show up on my driveway and send a broad in to tell me there's no deal. Wrong answer. You just made a deal with the Aryan Devil. I want my fucking money and I want it now, or you can't leave. And I got chopped in the head with a machete. I broke my hand. I broke my foot. I broke my face.
So
Like,
you just called yourself the Aryan Devil, right? So
yes.
do you really feel like you're the Aryan Devil?
Man, I feel like if you make, and Mom, Aunt Betty, all the women I've ever met, men don't say shit like this. Oh, nobody can make you do anything. Well, you're wrong. I'll make you call the police on me. You know, so if you make me act like an Aryan Devil, because I understand. And again, this is with the Hispanic dude that belongs to a very big organization, and but that's not enough leeway with me to tell me no, fuck you after you just jeopardized three people's safety, and I'm sitting on some shit I can't dump now. It's too late to say fuck you. You should have had my money.
So the guy whacks you.
And my part was only $500. Was it worth all? I could have made that in 2 days.
So there you go. There's a good point. But I'm going to ask you about the machete real quick. So the dude hits you in the head with the machete. We're going to come back to that $500 though. So the dude hits you in the head with a machete. Are you thinking like, damn, I'm about to die?
No, because I was too pissed off to think that way. I was, and he just didn't hit me in the head with the machete. He got my palm, scraped my leg. I had to suck him in. I'm fighting 3 feet of steel, and he's bigger than I am. And I'm 6'2", a buck 87.
You were fighting back though.
Of course, but my mom was an eyewitness. My girlfriend Selena was an eyewitness. Her daughter, it's her daughter's boyfriend. And there's a dude that's got a brand new Subaru who's a family friend, but he's a contractor and he's looking at some of my, uh, home improvements, critiquing them. And his brand new $49,000 Subaru just got hacked, $5,000 worth of damage because I had to draw a dude in. And we're fighting. I'm fighting for my life. And again, now I'm never without a knife. When I got my throat cut, and then my brother Terry, he did like, I don't know, 21 years in prison for bank robbery and some other crap. And he's like, somehow I know you're going to blame this on me because I had been in his house like 3 weeks before that, and I got real deal American steel, and my knife slid out of the pocket, and I didn't realize it. And I called him, I said, man, I think I left my knife between your cushions. He's like, I got it. Boom. Well, and he's like, William John Wayne weapon doesn't have a knife. Are you kidding me? And I was like, no, I didn't. You think I would have got stabbed up like this? When I got stabbed, I immediately knew what happened because, the whole side of my body locked up, and I was like, God damn it, I'm not going to die this way. And I blasted the fucking driver, broke my hand again, and I tried to turn to my dad and whip everybody's ass in the back seat. Next thing I know, I'm holding my head on my shoulders, getting I ain't going to die this way. And going to a white light and pounding on some people's door that I've never been there. Dude comes out with a shotgun. He's like, holy shit. And his wife's like, lay down, honey. And all I remember, it was like I was in a bad dream. I just couldn't remember a piece of it. It's the fucking cops handcuffing me because that's one of the Nelsons. And then waking up and I got a tube in my throat and I'm being held down. And then waking up in the hospital, then getting greeted by like 11 people that worked on me for 6 hours in a rotation. And, and I was an asshole because I was so pissed off when I came out of that I was like, thank you, everybody. Now I get to live the fight to kill and die another day. For what purpose? And I have no explanation for why I'm alive. I should be dead. Should have bled out, but I
Let me say
didn't.
this. Let me say this to you, right? Because you talked about, you get hit in the head with a machete. You've been through a lot of things in your life. And it's crazy, man, that your story could have ended like that. After everything you've been through, your story ends by getting hit in the head with a machete. You could be dead right now, like you said. But it was
Right.
over. Hold on. It was over $500. I used to teach classes in prison, right? And I would tell, a bunch of young dudes in there, and I'd ask them, hey, man, what are you worth? What do you think you're worth? And they'd say, man, I'm worth $1,000,000. I'm worth $1,000,000,000. And I would tell them, man, I'm going to tell you what I was worth. And, no disrespect to you, Bill, but I'm going to use you as the example. That day, you were worth $500, bro, because you
I
took a
know.
chance of losing your life for a bullshit drug deal over $500. And today, you should be looking in the mirror and saying, hey, man, just like them other dudes in them classes and the other dudes watching this video right now, they should ask themselves, what are you worth? And look in the mirror, and you should be telling yourself that you're priceless, man. You're better than $500. But you put yourself in that position on two occasions where you could have easily lost your life for chump change, man. And there's so many kids out here right now putting their lives on the line, whether they get killed or they kill someone else for chump change, man. They're worth so much more. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, I agree with that because I thought I could make $500 in 30 seconds,
Instead, you almost
dealing with a
lost your
bullshitter.
life in front of your mother.
Yeah, and mom said if she would have had the shotgun, that she would have shot everybody, including me, because not intentionally, but I'm getting wolf pack by my girlfriend, her daughter. Then the cops show up here. This is even, and I'm sitting there leaking. I sent you the pictures, right? And I'm like pounding on my bedroom door right here where I'm at, that door there. And I'm like, come in, and there's three cops, and one's got an M16. And I'm like, is there a fucking problem? Because there wasn't a problem until you showed up. What's up? And dude's like, don't get pissed off. I go, what's with the M16? Please tell me you didn't steamroll over my mom and your exuberance to come in here and kill me. Did you see I'm fucking leaking? And he's like, Bill, you're not going to like this. We already know what happened. I can look at the angle of the dangle of the wound on your head. You need to go to the hospital. I said, look, you can't know what happened because you weren't here. And everybody better keep their mouths shut. I'm groovy. Please leave. And he's like, you're not a Viking. You're a victim. And then a lady told me the other day, any man with a scar on his face is a victim. I don't like that. I don't like getting told you live in fear every day. And you think about it, it pisses you off because it's true.
Bill, what pisses me off is that you're 55 years old, man, and you spent your whole life in prison and caught up in this vicious cycle of crime and poverty. That's what it seems like. So when does it end, man? When does it end, Bill?
It ends as soon as I can get my hand back and my equilibrium, and I'll either go back to being an iron worker, a steeplejack, a structural mover, something where I get paid a living wage. That's why men turn to crime. And I'm not trying to hear that shit. That, oh, I've been to prison. I got an X on my back. I can't get a job. Every time I've walked out of prison, I've walked into a powerhouse. So I'm not trying to hear that. You don't go looking for work at 3 in the afternoon. You go looking for work at 3 in the morning. And I'm not talking about work sliding into somebody's house, ripping their shit off. I'm talking about there's work out there. I mean, really, how bad do you want to work? If there is no work, create work.
Listen, I'm going to get ready to close the show, but I want to know if you got a message, man, because my message to people tonight, I didn't know that this was going to be the message, but the message is that you're worth more than $500, right? You're worth more than,
Absolutely.
being out there trying to make a drug deal for $500 in 30 seconds. You end up getting hit in the head with a machete, or you get your throat slit open and you could have been dead that time. So what do you have to
Sure.
say, man, to the younger generation? Because you've
It's
been going to
this
prison all
simple.
your life, man.
Yes, it's this simple. Believe me now or be me later. You don't want to be me. You know, hungry all the time, wishing you could cry when your dad dies, when your grandma dies, because it's over. It's over. Nobody gives a fuck about you when the people are gone. Not your homies. These are the same people that make mock behind your back, whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not. They may not do it to your face. If they ain't doing it to your face, when you're at your weakest moment, because that's when they always come at you. I've seen a lot of men get killed and seriously fucked up. And there is no one-on-one fight, mano-a-mano, let's fight with knives like a Chuck Norris movie. These people will come at you when you're asleep, in the shitter, on the shower, and always at your back, in groups, armed, and usually both. This is no way to live for anybody, black, white, indifferent, whatever. And as far as the racial shit, as a group, you damn right. There's a whole bunch of people I don't like. But that black guy, not you. And I'll tell you something that I've learned the hard way. No matter how much you may despise a dude, Charles Manson, for example, Adolf Hitler, if you sit in a cell or you get locked up with these people and you're around them day after day, you'll notice characteristics about them that you'll like, respect, and admire them for. Just saying. That's my perspective. Pull your head out of your ass before you suffocate. Use both hands if you got to. Put that mirror back on the wall. Turn the friggin' lights on, and look at the asshole in your life. He's right there in the mirror, staring back at you.
I want to end it on that note, man, because like I said, man, when we bring old school people on the show, man, old timers, they always got some words of wisdom. But at the end of the day, man, I don't want people to be watching this and grow up and be like you. I don't want people to go down the road that I went down and end up sentenced to 40 years at the age of 24. So I'm going to tell people, man, to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video, look in the mirror, man, and pull your head out of your ass, man, and do what's right. I appreciate you coming on the show, Bill.
Sign, everybody forgot the original gang sign, peace. You learn, that's all I want is peace. To live in peace. And leave my enemies alone. I don't talk shit about my enemies. I respect my enemies. My enemies have tried to kill me. And the pain that I go through every day is incredible. Peace, everybody. At Blood Out the Razor Wire.
With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. We appreciate you. With respect, until tomorrow, we're out.